Hey traders, what's up? Wow, what a kind of disappointing Thursday. I really had higher hopes for today. We ended it at like a total break even. I only traded two tickers, BSS and BGFV. Basically, what I made on one ticker, I gave back on the other ticker. Although you're gonna see the charts in a little bit, this is really funny. I almost traded both of them identically. I was pre-market, we had similar setups. At the market open, we had similar setups. And then when we were looking for potential reversals, similar setups. So one, I walked away green. The other one, I walked away red. It was just such a 50-50 mix-up kind of day. There was some opportunity, but the pullbacks and the bad fall-throughs were just so prevalent today. So I'm pretty happy that we just walked away without really any bigger losers or bigger losses. That's really the most you can ask for from a day like today. So we'll review those two tickers, the trades, and then I also want to review OCO. What does it mean? You can see it on TOS in the templates. In a nutshell, it stands for one cancels the other. So if you forget what it does or whatever, just keep that in mind, because that kind of is a little bit self-explanatory. We'll play with it for a little bit when we go to the charts, just to show you guys what it actually looks like, what it actually does when you buy and sell. But it's all about linking your limit orders. So if one limit order gets triggered, it will cancel another limit order. All right, guys, let's go to the charts now, wrap things up, then get ready for trading Friday morning to trade the market open. If you guys are totally new here, remember we go live at 9:15 every day to review the watch list and then trade the market open. So definitely subscribe if you're new and hit that like button if you enjoy the content. Let's go to the charts now.
Woo-wee. Wow, I just had such a good chicken tender from yesterday. Wow, that made today so much better. Okay, so let's go here, look at what we did. Not too many trades today. It's been a busy last few days. Let's see here. Let's see if this loads for a second. I think we had, why is this not loading? Here, 1 second. 6, 7 on the, oh, okay. So I got to change my account. I was in the wrong account, no, I was just in a total overview account. Okay. So let's go back here. So on the 6th, so today is Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday. We had 9 trades. On Tuesday, we had 10 trades. And then Monday, we had 7 trades. It's been a busy week. There was good opportunity this week. But you had to be a little bit careful because we didn't get the craziest amount of fall through. I think honestly Monday was one of the best trading days. I didn't do too hot Monday. You guys remember I was scratching left and right. Tuesday I really took advantage of the moves when I saw them. Thursday same thing, but Thursday was a very tricky day. Wednesday, and then today, also even less fall through. We're just getting no fall through, and it was tough. So let's quickly review the trades that we did today. We ended today with 84 cents profit, just ridiculous. But what I am happy about is the fact that we avoided a lot of losers. So let's start with DGFV and then DSS. Those were the two tickers that we traded today. Let's actually go here to DGFV here first, because this is the one that we lost on. So pre-market, this one was looking really hot. We had a 20 million float, US specialty retail company, good quarterly 2 results, and this thing started kind of popping up on the chart a little bit late here around 8 o'clock, and boom, it went huge for its first kind of leg to the upside. I kind of missed this whole move. I started looking at it into this run up here. This was a nice run up. This was like 30-40% if I remember correctly. So let me quickly go here. Yeah, 34% or so. We had a pullback here. I just kind of sat through this whole thing. I was like, why is BGFV up? I was still researching it. It kind of popped up a little quick. Eventually, I got my bearings on it, and I was like, okay, it's looking all right. It's kind of holding its highs here above VWAP. We just had a lot of volume come in, and then, kicking up here. I bought the pullback, and then we just didn't get resolution. I closed my position here for a small loss. Actually, that's not even true. I actually had a small win on this one. But then, kept on selling off here into the market open. So at no point was I really like, this is going to be an interesting, really potential. Now, at 90.45, I was saying, okay, we just had a double bottom here. Maybe there's a chance that we're going to see a red to green move sometime around 10 o'clock. So as volume was coming back in on here, I bought the dip on this one. Again, I was looking for a little bit of fall through. I actually was kind of aggressive on this. I bought more of like almost the breakout. We didn't get that breakout continuation, and I closed here again for a small loss, or not again, but this time for a small loss. Not really the worst, like 8 cents a share, not the end of the day, but still just, kind of like disappointing. Okay, we're not really getting resolution here at BGFV, one of our lead gappers on the day. So that's a little bit sad. Same story for the other one, DSS. This one I just, happened to walk out kind of green on. So almost the exact same setup here. Except what I liked about DSS a little bit more is the fact that 1.5 million float. A much nicer float than 20 million. It has that huge spikeability inside of it. So let's quickly talk about this one. This was a U.S. specialty business service company with coronavirus treatment news from the company that it was acquiring. So it was kind of like a third-party news hand-me-down in a way. It was kind of interesting. I haven't seen that happen in, I think ever. So that was kind of funny. We run up here 80%, and then we start pulling back here about 10%, and I'm like, okay, this could be an interesting play. Again, I missed this whole move to the upside. It seemed like really 7 to 8 o'clock today was the best trading of the day. After that, it just wasn't that hot anymore, which is a little bit unfortunate because I wasn't really ready to go. I wasn't really trading yet at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was still doing other things. I often get ready to trade pre-market around 8 o'clock. So, by 7 o'clock, if all the action happens, then, it's a little unfortunate that I miss it. Really similar setup here with DSS. We kind of consolidate above VWAP. We have a breakout. I buy the pullback. It doesn't really, hold, and then I close the position. Good thing because it keeps selling off into the market open. So market open, it looks like we're going to have a red to green move. This thing pulls off 7% from the open, and I bought here on the dip at 92, which was just about a perfect entry. So I was pretty happy about that. I was looking for the break here of the EMA. We didn't get that, so I eventually just closed this position. This was just about, honestly, a pretty perfect trade. I bought the dip here, and I sold near at the peak here as it was looking a little bit weak. So basically, as buyers were disappearing and sellers, were really kind of taking over. So I took a small profit on this one, and then as this DSS was breaking higher here, I was like, okay, here it might be the setup. This might be the red to green move that I was waiting for. And we had some questions. What is a red to green move? It's basically when the candle is red on the day because we have this dip. So we're down 7%. Here's the daily candle. And now if we pull back to 963, this whole candle will turn green. So that's a red to green move. It's when the daily candle goes green. All right, so we're having this breakout. I'm like, okay, DSS, lead gapper on the day, 1.5 million float. This thing has huge explosive possibility. So let's see what happens. And, I buy the breakout here at 46 when we're pulling back a little bit. It moves a little bit higher. But then I actually closed for a small profit as kind of sellers push this thing back to 28 really, really fast. And all of a sudden I was red on a pretty decent, position size. Okay, it wasn't the biggest, it was like 1,500, but still I felt like, okay, I'm kind of trying to, push this a little harder. Let's see what happens. So I could have walked maybe away green on this one, but it didn't work. I took one more trade here when we were breaking above the 9-minute EMA, and this one failed as well. So almost the way I traded DSS was so similar to the way I traded BGFV. Both of them just didn't get the resolution we were looking for. Right now it's trying to break back above the 8.5, but it has a very low amount of volume, so I'm not really convinced. Plus, long-term chart-wise, this thing has a lot of failed breakouts, a lot of failed gap days, so I'm not really convinced. $10 is big resistance, so I don't know. It's just not really something that I'm super interested in. Yeah, so one thing I do want to talk about that I find, or that we got asked today in the chat room, was OCO. And we kind of talked about it a little bit in the past, but let me just kind of review it here. Or we talked about it in the live stream, but let me just review it here so we kind of have it for future reference. So OCO is, if I remember this right, one or the other, something like that. I forgot what it stands for. It stands for, I wrote it down over here, one cancels the other. So let's just go, and the best way to practice any of these kind of trading things, especially, with the templates, you don't want to do it with live money. You could do it with live money. Like, let's say you just do it with one share, but I don't, what's the point of that? That just is unnecessarily messy for no reason. So let's kind of go here to yesterday. Let's make this at 935, 35, and boom, go, and let, yeah. And then let's go to the ticker FTEK. This is the one we were playing around with before. And then, okay, so here we are on FTEK. And let me go ahead and pause it for a second. And then, yeah, there we go. Okay, so FTEK, let's say that we want to trade this one as a possible breakout. And what we want to do for that is, let's say I buy the dip here, or I buy a potential breakout. So we could use the OTC bracket. We put it on day. We look to buy, let's say 1,000 shares. We could turn auto send off, and then here we'll just put a limit order at, let's say 30. So here you can see it. We would be buying 130. 1,000 shares at 130 or 1,000 shares at 142. These kind of cancel each other out. So let's go ahead and send this and then start again right here and see what happens. These are linked orders, so one will trigger the other one. So right now price is roughly at 130. Buyers moving up here at 11. So if this goes down 130, this order is going to disappear. Looks like we might even be breaking higher here now. Okay, so it looks like we're about to buy at 130. That canceled this order, and if it would have broke higher up here, this order would have got triggered. We would have bought up here, and it would have canceled this order. So that's kind of how it works in a nutshell. Now, what I like to, you could get really custom here or creative here. The thing that I recommend is, trying it out on demand. That's the most important thing. I think that will give you some flexibility, some practice. You can see if it works for you. You can back test a little bit. That way you don't have to trade on the open market and make some sort of fatal mistake just because you didn't really fully understand how OCO works. I don't really use OCO, but sometimes on my swing trades, I like the brackets. The brackets are kind of nice because you can, kind of step away from the computer a little bit. So let's do an example on this one. And let's say, actually, what we want to do is let's just first of all close this out because this is getting a little bit hectic up in here. How many shares are we long? 7,000. Let me just quickly close this out. Sell. Oh, we are short. Oh, okay. Let me buy here. Okay, so now we close it out. I didn't realize we were short. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go back to 1,000 just for kind of simplicity. Now let's go here to sell, or let's say we want to go long and not short. So let's say we want to buy at 132. So now we can go here, custom bracket with stop. I like to say that sell custom. Yeah, so let's go here, sell stop. Stop limit, it's kind of nice too because I don't really like market orders, but let's say with OCO bracket, and then you can see all the limits it sets up. So we basically have a buy limit order, and then we have a stop when to get out of the position, and then we have a stop on, so ideally, what's our target price? What's our ideal exit profit taking area, and then the other one is a stop. When do we want to cut losses? So let's go here and confirm this one. Here's a little review if you guys want to check it out, and then let's kind of send it up here. And so here, let's actually move this up a little bit. So here's a stop. If we, if the price hits this area, we will be stopped out. And then here is the profit taking zone. If the price goes up here, this will be executed and this one will disappear. So these two are linked. So if this one disappears, this one disappears. Or like if this one gets executed, this one will get executed. It's fairly straightforward. With day trading, I don't really use this because it's too quick and I start tripping over myself. It can be nice, but I don't really prefer using it. What I like to do is just use limit orders. I say join the bid and then join the ask. These two buttons I use very, very frequently. Rarely I say buy the market or sell the market. And then this cancel all order is like my life raft. I click on it quite often. You guys probably hear me clicking on this like a madman sometimes, just because I feel good. And then auto send I typically always have on. So let's see what happens here. So we just bought 1,000 shares. And like I said, if we break this VWAP, we will be stopped out, or we will go up here and this will will take profits. Again, what I used for this one was buy custom, then I used OCO brackets. So OCO brackets makes a bit more sense to me than just OCO. I don't know. Everyone's different. I mean, like, just experiment what you guys like more. Do you guys like OCO brackets, and all that fun stuff? Just remember, OCO stands for one cancels the other. I think that's the most simple way you can probably look at this. Yeah, and then just practice a little bit. And once, it totally makes sense for you, then I would say implement it into the market. Otherwise, you don't want to create a stop and then all of a sudden be stopped out on accident. You don't want to, put a sell order too low and then have issues with that. It's just, it's a very, very slippery slope. So it looks like, actually, we might even get stopped out right here any second. This is exciting. Okay, though, boom. So that removed both the orders. Now, let me do another example here. Let me actually buy. Let me see if we can get this entry. And I do this sometimes. So I'll show you what I do if I want to use OCO. So right now we're long at 125. And let's say I'm like, okay, if we go below 122, I want to sell. So if you just click here, sell, it actually creates a stop order. And we can review this for a second. You can see here, market stop order. This gets triggered as a market order, so just be a little careful. Although I always feel like it goes as a limit order, probably because, I don't know, the order book is thick or whatnot. But yeah, just keep that in mind. So let me just remove this one again. And let me go here and say, let's say you have a limit order. So if I put a limit order here, it will literally close my position if it gets triggered, right? But if I put a limit order below the price, then it will actually set a stop order up. So here, stop order, and then let me cancel this one again. Whoops. And then with auto send, it's a little slow right now. So right now the price is moving up, so I could put an order here, and this will actually be a limit to take profits. And I could just move this down and close out my order. So if I do it below the price, it's a stop. If I do it above the price, it's a simple limit order, and which is kind of like the OCO without the additional order. So that's how I typically set up my stops if I do it. And then the OCO with the trigger is a kind of a nice way to kind of have your target profit. Here we go, OCO with bracket. You have your target and you have your stop area. I think that's kind of nice. But when I do that, I usually just use trigger with brackets. I think it's kind of the same thing, but I would have to play around with it. Again, yeah, you can see the triggers here. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Let me move this a little bit lower so it doesn't get executed right away. Oops, no, hold on. With bracket. Wow, it's just, yeah, it's a lot of playing around sometimes. So let me put this one here. Oh, I think I just did 2 brackets. Yeah, so, I mean, you don't want to get carried away here. I think the point of this thing is just to focus on that OCO stands one cancels the other. And after that, just have fun with it. Just practice a little bit. Make sure it makes sense to you. That's the most important part with trading. And other than that, the best part about on demand is the fact that you can do it on the weekends. You can do it pre-market. You can do it after market. You never really have to have the market open to just trade or to practice trading. It's an amazing thing. And I think that's one of the best parts about it. So I think with DSS, for example, if I wanted to randomly enter this one, I could say like, okay, well, let me buy here at 783 if we have a triple bottom, and then I put my stop here at 7.5, and then I have maybe a target profit zone somewhere up here. So that's how I would practically use that one. But again, like I said, unless I'm swing trading, I rarely use it. I always, buy with a limit order, and then I'll sometimes set a stop here with you just, clicking sell as a limit order. So that's my favorite way to do it. Let me know, guys, let me know in the comments below, how do you guys use OCO? Do you guys use OCO for day trading? Do you guys use templates for day trading, these triggers for day trading? What is your favorite thing to do? Or are you just, buying and selling very quickly using join bid, join ask, kind of keeping it very, very simple? That's personally my favorite way to do it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this recap, a little bit different. It was a slow day. We kind of walked away with 83 cents, like I said. So nothing really or 84 cents, nothing really too crazy. Sometimes you have a hot day, sometimes they're a little bit slower. It is what it is. It's been a pretty good week so far, so I can't complain at all. All right, guys, I will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, stay safe, make some awesome trades, hit the subscribe button if you're new. I would love to see you again. Join the community. Till next time, guys. Ciao, ciao.